Let's talk about it.
Hello and welcome back to Thicc Radio, the award-winning podcast where we talk about gaining, fetishism, and everything plus size. I am a little nutty and I'm a little chocolate surprise. My name is Freya Roche.
And I am actor, dancer, ventriloquist, taxidermist, and professional homosexual Tim Scott.
And I'm that overweight guy at the gym who's always there but never seems to lose any weight, the Captain Barra.
And welcome to... No, we can't keep doing that. That's terrible. Otherwise, we're going to get a copyright infringement. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Thicc Radio. We are in for a hoot and a holler today because today, y'all, we are interviewing none other than Gennifer WithaG. Hello, honey.
Oh, my God. Hello, everybody.
Hello, my love. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. It's a very hot and wet day here in Texas, Dallas, Texas. And what a better day to get into drag.
Absolutely. And I'd like to take this opportunity to remind all your motherfuckers out there, we do a Patreon now where we have full video sodes of the podcast. You're not going to get the chance to experience Gennifer in all her cow time glory unless you subscribe. So I'm going to encourage you, this is your moment, to give us a little donation and see this good bitch in some high whore drag. Because Jen, you look fantastic, honey.
Oh my God, say more.
You've been remarking, James, about how the cow motif is now like really gaining popularity as a, sort of like cheeky fetish kind of thing.
The cow motif really is like happening in the gainer and the bear scene. Like it really was like the time of the pig, and now we're in the time of the cow. And Jen, you were just dressed and looking fantastic. You look utterly divine.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and I should have said I'm feeling like a big juicy steak today.
Oh my God. Well, how do you have your steak?
Medium rare. I do not believe in steak sauce. If the steak is cooked correctly, you don't need anything else.
Interesting. Because I was going to ask, like, what sauce do we go with? I'm a big fan of a béarnaise or a green peppercorn sauce.
Okay, that's if you're getting fancy, I think that's okay. But like, I used to date a general manager of a steakhouse, and watching people just like slather A1, no, ma'am.
Yeah, I feel like I really enjoyed that show that on Netflix, like the Great American Barbecue Showdown for a hot minute, just because there was some fat men cooking big meat, and I was like,
oh yeah, I remember
like,
that.
I was just joking it the entire time. They were talking about meat sauce, and I was like, I'll give you some meat sauce, baby. But then, like, I saw what looked like beautiful cuts of meat, and them just like just a vat of sauce on top, and I was like, what's the point of this? Like, why have a cut of meat? Why even have meat? What if you just like poured the sauce on a fucking boot? You could have eaten that. I failed to see the point.
Well, generally that's just to disguise that the meat's not going to taste that good. Like the more you slather the sauce on.
But why have you not seasoned the meat? Do Americans not know how to season their meat?
That is debatable. It depends on who you ask and what part of the country you're talking about.
We know how to beat our meat, but season, I don't know.
Now, I think a first port of call to bring up here, Capy, I believe you're familiar with our guest, Gennifer G. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. We go way back to your earliest days in Dallas. Isn't that right, Gennifer?
I think we met my first Pride in Dallas. So I was a Midwest girly from Indiana.
A big mess?
Big mess, yes. Midwest big mess. I think that should be my new tagline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the big mess from the Midwest. It's Gennifer WithaG.
Yeah, but I moved down to Dallas in 2018. And so I guess it would have been 2019, my first Pride in Dallas. And I moved into a terrible, tiny apartment in the middle of the neighborhood and just got to experience everything. And then ran into this wonderful human being, and we've been friends ever since.
I love that. And Capy, there's no particular reason you'd be too familiar with Gennifer's drag, is there?
Yes. I mean, we talked a lot about drag as she was kind of beginning to get started in the scene in Dallas. I had been more active in drag at the time. My short-lived stint as the Miss Cecile Van Doren. For all of those who attended her shows and knew her and loved her and tipped her well. But she is no longer, because at one point I decided that I would rather be sore from going to the gym rather than spending a night out in heels. But we have passed the torch along, and she has done great things and burned the entire town down with her glamour. Gennifer, we're so proud of you.
Oh,
Please tell us about your recent accolades.
oh my
Mm.
goodness. Okay. It's so nice. Well, I was recently awarded by the Dallas Voice, which is a very local, very famous newspaper magazine, Best Drag Queen and Best Drag MC, which is very exciting. So thank you to everyone who voted. I still, when I hear Best Drag Queen, I'm like, but there's other people better than me. Like it's a weird thing to get, but like I'm very honored. And then I recently was crowned Miss Life Walk, which
Mm.
a charity pageant very famous here in Dallas, from Prism Health North Texas. They are, I want to say, the largest LGBTQIA health services in North Texas, and they
Mm.
do a drag pageant every year. And so I won last year, and so now I get to use this platform to raise money for the community, and then also just keep being goofy and all the crazy things I normally do.
Oh,
Mm.
fully. And you're following in the footsteps of many great queens who have raised thousands and thousands of dollars for a great cause that helps the community. And so we celebrate you, and we're so happy to have you on the pod to talk about your journey.
Oh, thank
Mm.
you. No,
Yes.
I firmly say that I am a charity queen first because that's how I did start. I also work a lot with the Resource Center, which is the largest LGBTQIA nonprofit in Dallas, North Texas. But I started as a charity queen, and they're the ones who accepted me the most. And so while I have a lot of other shows now, and I'm performing a lot more than I did when I started, like at my core, I'm always a charity queen. And I think charity queens get a bit like a terrible rap, but we are doing so much for the community, and like things wouldn't be happening without us. So not to toot my own horn, but
Mm.
there's so many out there. So like cheers to all the charity queens because they are doing the most.
No, fully. And beyond just representing yourself, you're doing things for the community, and it really shows that you care. Beyond
Mm.
that, though, you're also a Broadway queen. Is that correct?
She's a little bit of a musical theater gal. That's kind of one way that Cap and I connected. We went to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. We went to rival, quote unquote, rival music schools in college. We were going to college at the same time, but we didn't know each other. I almost went to the same college, but they didn't accept me. Um, so that's why I went to Indiana, not Ohio, the state, not the college. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a big musical theater gal. I went to school for music. Actually, I went to school for string bass, which is not what I do anymore. But it's, I love all things musical, and that's really a huge reference for me as Gennifer as well.
Well, and thankfully, your musical training prepared you for one thing you have never stopped doing, which is handling big wood.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm.
I'm very allergic to nature. I'm never playing with wood.
No, absolutely. And in addition to loving music and Broadway, you're quite the performance queen. I remember somewhat recently, maybe it was last year, there was a video of you in a drag battle with a local queen, and you were out of drag, and you put her to shame. You were like
Oh,
bucking and twirling and dancing. Do,
okay.
do you remember? Do you remember the
Yes, I
instance that I'm
do. I have
talking
the
about?
I'm going to just be name dropping a lot of queens. Mulan Alexander, who is one of the most incredible entertainers ever,
And we
followed,
love Mulan, to be sure.
is iconic, an incredible dancer, super sexy. I used to, well, we're going to talk about it eventually, but I hosted a show called The Gennifer Show, which is the dumbest game show in Dallas. I did that at Hamburger Mary's while we were open. We closed, and now I'm at a new bar. So after my show, I would go over to another bar called the Roundup and just like say hi to the queens, but I would be in like booty shorts, probably a tank top, nasty big hat, full face of makeup, and like my Barbie pink Crocs. Nothing glamorous. And so they pulled me up on stage, and Mulan's doing flips and tricks, and I'm just like doing the Tina dance. She slid through my leg. It was one of the funnest. It was so much fun. That movie, that video is crazy.
Yeah, no, and it was like for all the fun like drag race lip sync battles you see, this was all the more exhilarating. I think it was a bit more raw and real, and Honestly, you turned it. Yeah, I
Uh,
was
I'm,
just
but I'm
like,
gonna
yes,
disagree.
bitch,
Mulan
work.
kicked my butt.
You what now?
Mulan kicked my butt, and that's totally okay.
Well,
Oh,
regardless, being out of drag and all of that, I still thought you turned it for what it's
Well,
worth.
thank you so much. You can tip me on Venmo if you'd like.
there we go. And we'll put that Venmo right down in the show notes so that
Yeah.
if you'd like to tip our dear Gennifer, that you could absolutely do so. Though, exploring your drag a little bit, you have described yourself as the bearded queen in Dallas who's looking for a good cheeseburger. And I am
Absolutely.
curious, what is it exactly about just being a good heifer looking for a cheeseburger that particularly inspires Gennifer?
First of all, cheeseburgers are my favorite thing. It's like that is my food. Like if I'm having a bad day, we're having a cheeseburger. That could be from McDonald's, that could be from Wendy's, that could be from a fancy place. Like I'm just gonna default to a cheeseburger, which I know is super boring. But then also like cheeseburgers are really messy and like greasy and that's I feel like that
Comforting. They're
describes
comforting. Yeah, it's a great
yeah,
comfort food.
comforting and kind of messy. I think that's Gennifer.
Okay. And it makes sense then when a man asks for your bacon grease that they can just kind of like get a little bit of, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, duly noted, duly noted. Now, I do want to ask, I think, a bit of an obvious question because, when we speak to people, we like to sort of inquire. We are a podcast, of course, that centers gaining and fetishism in many ways. We rep our community with love and with pride. I'd be curious to ask, have you had any experiences with the gaining or fetist communities?
The only experience I've had is with our dear friend Captain, which I will say I didn't know a lot about that area, and also with being a queer boy growing up, I struggled with my weight a lot. So when I first initially heard about it, I was like, I don't know about this. But Captain has been amazing, and I've seen all the beautiful things that come from it. So thank you so much for teaching me.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's funny because right in our community we run into people who are big either because they've always been big or because they chose to be big. And so it was an interesting convergence meeting each other as like beefy berry boys who have come at it from two very different angles and experiences.
And I would be curious to ask, right? Because, of course, our size is like a center point within our space and it's tied to confidence and visibility. And I'd be curious to ask for you, how has your relationship with your size shaped your drag and vice versa?
Yeah, I think even we don't need to get the full experience, but I was very heavy as a child and I got into sports, which, naturally, trims you up. And when you're young, your metabolism is a lot different than when you're in your 30s now. But I was still like the big guy. Like I did swimming and water polo and no joke. And I was a diver too. My nickname in high school on the sports team was Shamu. Like, and I think it's hilarious. Now, mind you, in the high school world, I think I weighed maybe like 180 pounds, maybe 160. Like that's not big relatively, but I was 6 feet tall. I had the shoulders of a football player. I was the big swimmer diver. So that's kind of been the vibe I've had for most of my adult life as well. In drag, it's the first time that being bigger has been in my life celebrated, which is really weird.
No,
But also like
that's a beautiful thing. Tell us more.
yeah, no, I feel so comfortable in my body, which half of it's fake now because of the hips and everything. But I'm putting on more drag to get bigger. Like my breasts are bigger, my shoulders, I can't get rid of those. But like if your shoulders are bigger, you need bigger hair, you need bigger hips. So like you need to become bigger. And people are obsessed with this hourglass figure that once you find out your body, and if that's the kind of drag you want to do, that's kind of drag I wanted to do and am doing, people love the curves and swerves. So that builds up your confidence. But then when you get out of drag, you're like, I'm really confused right now.
The body
Interesting.
dysmorphia
Yeah.
compacts on top of the gender transition that you do in and out of drag, right?
Yeah, so it's weird that the general public and even like the drag community, like, oh, you're like juicy, not, I'm wearing the cow thing, but like I'm juicy and thick and beautiful. But then when I'm out of drag in the bear community, which I relate to and I'm drawn to the most, I'm not noticed. And not as a pity, no, like everyone likes a different thing, but like I don't feel as confident in that space than I do when I'm in drag.
Fair. I mean, for what it's worth, I did notice you. So
Oh, we'll talk more about that later, but
Oh, well, that'll
You know,
come in the extra helpings after show where
Yes.
nothing is off the table. Uh,
If my family's listening, don't listen to that portion. But
no, I really appreciate that you bring up that sense of gender dysmorphia. I suppose you would call it a dysmorphia, right? Like that sort of dissident you experience, or
yes, and or like
yeah,
gender euphoria, really, because when I'm in the fantasy, I feel beautiful. Like I feel like it's and you talk to anyone who wears drag, drag is a sense of armor, but like when you are feeling it, like nothing can touch me. And I love how I look in a mirror. And it's weird because also like I'm not trans in any way. I'm a queer man who I just love doing drag, and that's how I express myself in my art. So I do get gender euphoria, but I'm not like it's a weird
I
mind.
mean, I have to imagine that you're not the only performer to experience that. You know, when people kind of have drastic transformation as a part of their entertainment or their performance, it's like there has to be some kind of cognitive dissonance that develops between the character that you portray and who you really are. And, it's just the sort of the nature of theatrics, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I have never been more comfortable in my own self, like, Gennifer or my boy self, like, but when I have a wig on my head, which is crazy, but I love it.
but it kind of makes sense though, because when I think about gaining and I think about the journey that many of us go on, Cappy had mentioned that some of us start off big, but a majority of us start off smaller, right? Because in many ways, if you were so naturally inclined towards size, you wouldn't be a gainer, you'd just be fat. So for many of us, it's a deliberate intent to have an active putting on of weight and mass and size. It's not a temporary thing that you take off, it is a permanent fixture on the body. And
Yeah.
not only do you pad with the flesh, you then have to dress it, and then you then have to put accoutrement on top of that, and you have to think about how you style and do all those things. So I do think there is a sense of relation between something that is transformative and transness and the size of it all. I think there is a sort of like a communal playground that we're all sort of operating on. Some of us are on the swing sets, some people are on the bouncy castle, but we all kind of see each other and can kind of acknowledge, like, oh, hey, we're all kind of here and kind of figuring it all out in this sort of bodied, gendered space.
Yeah. I also love like too with and people have probably said this before, but like drag, there's no right or wrong way to do it. So like you can be ultra femme, you can be kind of, butch. I don't like using that word, but like it's just a nebulous of whatever the hell you want to do. That's why I love doing bearded drag, because I like from afar you're like, oh, that's a beautiful woman. Then you get close, you're like, oh, that's a man. Like like the bearded lady circuit like clown like is like my vibe, and that's why I love doing it.
Is skag drag still a thing, or is that gone now?
Oh,
Or is
what?
that or is that what bearded drag has become? Skag drag was what we used to call when you would only sort of halfway do it. Like
Oh, is that
guys who
like a
would paint their
trash
faces but
queen?
leave
Like
beard and
your
like
uncle at a wedding ceremony who's
kind of
gotten
like that. Yeah,
a
that
little
was the
bit too
vibe.
punch
But
happy.
skag drag queens, everyone knew that that's what their thing was. So it's like it wasn't looked down on. It was just like, oh, that's their gimmick, is that they're sort of half-assing it.
I have never heard that term before.
Oh.
I love it though.
I remember that from Australia. Like when I did drag for a very brief time, like it was skag drag because I was fully bearded. I had no intention of shaving. It was very much like I am a person deliberately representing something that is not. Like I understand that there are some forms of drag that are very much, oh, I am maybe not trying to pass, but I'm trying to very specifically reference classic femininity. For me, it was more a case of I had big hair, big beard, kind of giving you like Rose Quartz from Steven Universe if
Yes,
she was
yeah.
if she was a little bit non-binary sitch. So like, but there is a real joy in like what was it that RuPaul used to call it, like gender
I believe
fuck.
that I was going to say the
Yeah, gender
historic
fuck.
term, which RuPaul did not originate but has coined, is gender fuck drag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
So kind of in that era, and I had a lot of fun doing that because it's like I'm not deceiving anyone. I am showing up exactly as what I am, but what I am you don't understand, and you have no option but to deal with it at face value. So as I perform, as I'm in your face, you can't preconceive, you can't do anything other than just accept whatever's being offered to you. So if it's fabulous, you have no choice but to admit I am fabulous.
Which I think the community is way more receptive to that now, because
Yeah.
I started drag when I lived in Indiana, but I was like very like I was doing drag and just like in musicals. Like I wasn't going out in drag.
Which musicals, Jennifer?
Oh, oh, I'm blanking. I was a witch for a really weird production of Hamlet, but it
Nice.
was Hamlet and zombies. And then
Oh.
I
I
don't
was about
really
to say
know.
I don't
Like,
remember a witch being in
Uh,
Hamlet.
no,
I was
it
about to
was
say, so
just,
you put on your best John Travolta and you were like,
yeah.
Tracy and your Hamlet.
It was like Shakespeare characters are zombies and some of them aren't, and then they're fighting. It was weird, but like things like that. But when you come to Dallas, which we are very famous for certain drag queens, Alyssa Edwards, Kennedy Davenport, Raja O'Hara. I could keep going on. We've had a lot of drag race girls come through. Plastique was from, Dallas. There's such a standard of what you have to present, or you will get no opportunities.
Yeah, and that was very much the drag that I came up in and was raised doing. The last show I did was in Dallas, and Plastique Tiara actually zipped me up for my
Oh.
final look. So, yeah, there's a little bit of historic crossover there. But the pageant queens who raised me were very much of the mindset that, girl, if there is body showing, it had better not have any hair on it.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was so bold and provocative and awesome, frankly, that you came in guns a-blazing with your beard, just like, deal with it, bitches. I'm a man lady.
I mean, that's why I'm so thankful to the charity community because I do a monthly show called Gay Bingo. It's the gayest and biggest in the Big D charity bingo in North Texas. But they just were like, dress however you want. We don't care. Just be here and help out. And that's how it got me involved with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, who they are the hairiest, the most beautiful people I have ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh, this is okay to be a hairy lady because women can be hairy. Media says no, but women can be hairy, and that's okay. Um, but then I kind of shoved it down everyone's throat until they just accepted it
Listen,
consensually, kind of.
no, but listen, if listen, baby, if the religious and the Christians are gonna fucking do that shit to us, ain't no motherfucker reason we can't do it back to them motherfuckers. You better let them have it, god damn it.
Yeah.
Now, I am gonna ask a question here. Is Drag Race adjacent? Because I think if we're talking drag, it's gonna come up, right? Drag Race has obviously established, I think, a very clear picture in their mind of what the big girl is in drag. But I would like to know for you, what have your experiences been like in your local scene, more particularly to your size as it pertains to drag?
Well, I'm a big girl, but I feel like a medium-sized girl because there are bigger girls that are just as beautiful and just as talented and gorgeous. But if you are, I'm just going to throw a random number out there because this is my size. If you're anything above like what, Captain, like a size 12
Uh,
in drag, it's a
pretty
struggle.
much.
The higher you go up in traditional women's sizes of clothing, it is significantly harder and harder to find anything glamorous to wear. I could go to Ross. I could probably go to other stores, Walmart or Target or something like that. Well, not Target, but like other stores. But and find like a muumuu, or I can find some ill-flattering baggy dress. Like it's not the same. So you have to find clothes, which is hard. You have to pad more, like as I was talking about. So you're spending more money on padding. Your breasts have to be larger. Your wigs have to be bigger. It is significantly more expensive, I think, to be a bigger girl. I can't wear
Yeah,
a wig out of a bag. I can't shop on Fashion Nova. I can't do any of that.
yeah.
So that's in itself a whole struggle as far as being a drag entertainer in just the world right now. As far as performing, no one. I've been very blessed that no one's ever. I've never had negative connotation for me being a bigger girl, but it always ties in with, oh, she's a bigger girl. She's a campy girl. Like that gets tied together. So when I worked at bars like Hamburger Mary's, I would be on shows where there were three girls who doing flips and tricks and skinny and they don't have to wear like traditional drag body and things like that. And then I come out here, hey everybody, like I'm gonna sing you a song. So it was very like people loved it, but also self-conscious because I'm like, oh, I can't do what they're doing and I'm not gonna look like them. So how can I learn from them, but also like make it my own? But I don't know. Does that did I answer the question? It's a weird world.
No, it absolutely does, and like, did you ever feel any pressure to shrink figuratively or physically in order to obtain more opportunity, as you said? Like, because you and Capy were both talking about how like you like at the time it was very much still that traditional of like you have to present a perfect package in order to
Yeah.
get anywhere.
I definitely, for a while there, my wardrobe was very, I don't like I'm wearing a leotard right now, but like, I don't normally like, but it was like, I was like, oh, I need to be a little bit more revealing. Oh, I need to make sure like my pads are 100% smooth so you can't see them. My costumes have to be a little bit more revealing, which is not generally what Gennifer does a lot. So there was peer pressure there, but thankfully there's been no peer pressure to make myself smaller. Like I said, these shoulders are not going away. My 6 foot tall ass is not going away. Like I can't get smaller.
Well, I would also hope, as an Australian, as a continental outsider to America, like you do here, like Texas be fat, Texas be big, everything's bigger in Texas, So it's like I would hope that a heifer in such the place would, at the very least, not be sort of pressured as much, perhaps, as elsewhere, to have to shrink. But of course, the local experience is going to be a very different thing, perhaps.
Yeah, I do. I love the phrase that everything is bigger than Texas because we got some big bitches. Alexis Davenport is incredible, the matriarch of the Davenport family. That girl does a Beyonce number and dances all around, and she's a big girl, but she's moving like everybody else. So like, I'm thankful that we do have a few people in the community, and I'm forgetting a lot of people that like celebrate it. Also, because Dallas is such a pageant town, we host some of the major pageants that always have an at-large category in it, which we can talk about that later. That's a whole mind.
Well, that actually does bring us to a question I wanted to bring up.
Oh, great.
As a queen who has competed in various pageants and contests, how do you feel about the distinction of plus or at-large versus like the quote-unquote regular or skinny girl categories?
Yeah. If for Tim and James, I don't know. Like, so there's usually like Miss US of A, which recently happened. There's a Miss category, there's a new category, there's a Mr. category, there's an at-large category, and then there's a at-large like Mr. version as well. So a lot of these pageants, and I'm not versed in the pageant world super well, so history-wise, Captain, keep me together. But like they had to separate it because they had to separate it because I'm glad they realized there is disadvantage. I think clothing is big. You're not gonna. Back then, finding a pageant gown for a big girl, no.
It's more yards of fabric. It's more stones,
yes.
More adhesive, more of everything, really.
You have to find someone to make it if you are not making it yourself. Like, so there are these separate categories, and I kind of love it because it gives an opportunity. I just wish they picked a new name.
Yeah, because at large kind of makes it sound like you're a criminal.
Like, or a menace.
Yeah, it's Gennifer with a G at large. Once again, she has stolen all of the cheeseburgers from Hamburger Mary's. If you see her, use tranquilizer darts and take her down.
Could be great PR, really.
Now I'm interested. No, James, you need to be hosting these pageants because now I'm feeling.
Listen, Linda. I actually think I'd be fucking great at this shit because, and I will say this, Tim, you were introducing me to some like American version of Love Island or something, and it was a weird thing because it's all these like Floridians being like, oh my god, like I can't believe that, and for some reason there was this Australian presenter being like, and now they go down into the house, what will they do? And I was like,
I think that's just Love Island.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. In any case, ever since I heard that, I was like, there is a place for me being a bogan cunt in the American scene, and I'm going to find my route there. So you know what? I think I could host Miss Dallas of A, at large, continental plus, extra, at large, extra, at large.
For the fat bitches.
For the fat bitches, PTY LTD, trademark supersized, yes.
See, and when James says, Gennifer with a G at large, I'm imagining you like hanging off of the Empire State Building like King Kong, know, perhaps with a cheeseburger in the other hand. I don't know.
Dressed as a cow, squirting my udder all over the city. Yeah,
see, exactly.
You're welcome.
Kind of cunt. I can see the promo video. It's like men you've hired like look up and they're just being doused in like milk. Like, oh god, like.
Well, that would cover a lot of fetishes. That would cover the bukkake fetish, the macro fetish.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say this earlier. I made this beautiful cow outfit for the listeners who can't see. I'm wearing a cow outfit, if you didn't know already. when Googling cow outfits last year, I
Mm-hmm.
found a lot of strange things. Strange, and I say strange because I didn't know about them, but it
Yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
a whole new world that I was introduced to.
A whole new world, but it was whole because it was whole milk. Yes,
Yes.
And I'm not supposed to eat dairy, so there was a lot, a lot of those things.
a lot of
Um,
processing.
no, but like silicone, like cow udders,
Uh-huh.
and,
It's
like
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yeah.
but also in the furry community, like it was there was a literally a day I got nothing done because I just couldn't stop like
It's so
Googling.
endlessly fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wonder
There's
this sometimes with, because I'll say this towards Drag Race. I can appreciate sometimes when a queen might like reference a little fetish. I personally get a little miffed. If the notion of drag is more is more is more, there are so many fetish references. And so, like, I think season 9, Aja came out in a thing which was just like a little face moment with a mouthpiece. She took it off straight away, walked down the runway, and I was like, is that it? Where's the rest of the leather? Where's the rest of the latex? Like, where is, so I think the idea of like porn and sex work and drag and like fetish and clown even like I think a lot of these things share a very like similar space and I'd like more opportunities to see more of it fleshed out than just
James.
kind
Are
of
you
intoned.
are you claiming the conservative talking point that drag is inherently sexual?
I am actually, and as a member of the mug no I wouldn't. You can't say things funnily like that anymore because people believe you and then they try to it's not good. So no, that's not it's not
That's
true in the
right.
slightest. No, don't at me.
Well, in the words of Trixie Mattel, if you're finding me sexual, I need you to go talk to a therapist. I'm concerned if you find me sexual right now.
I think if I were to post a GIF of you, it's the one of the cow turning its head, but it's got the wig in the fan like blowing. That's the that's the GIF for the moment, and we're gonna overlay that over the video, just as
Beautiful
precisely,
love.
precisely.
Oh,
So on the notion of we're talking size, we're talking everything. I have heard that Dallas is quite like a food-centric city, like it's known for its food culture, right?
Oh, the Texas State Fair is hosted in Dallas. And if you've ever thought about wanting to deep fry anything, literally anything, this is the place to go and do that.
They've done it.
Mm.
Butter,
Butter.
Oreos, Twinkies, and this is before all of the gross Midwestern states did it. No,
Snickers
Dallas made
bars.
headlines for deep fried margaritas,
Uh,
and the
That was
butter
the one that
was
I
very
was really like,
popular.
how does one deep
no.
fry a margarita and why do you want the taste of deep fried food
I
with
don't know, but I want it. Cappy, this is what's going to happen. You're going to take me on a little friend date to this Dallas State Fair. We're going to skip along down. I will permit one iteration of meet me in St. Louis, meet me at the fair, like that fucking thing.
Sure.
And then you're going to hand feed me a deep fried stick of butter because I need
Yes.
that experience. I need it
Yes. That would be very validating to your identity as a butter girl.
as
Absolutely.
as the butter queen,
Have
They
precisely.
either of you ever had deep fried butter? I have not, so I don't know what it tastes
no.
like. I mean, I know what butter tastes like, yes, but I'm wondering what the concept of deep fried butter.
Well, you
I'm
can deep fry anything,
I
if
know
you
you
just
can,
Just
but the
just put it in
question
a
is like,
shell.
do you want to deep fry milk fat? Is my question.
I mean, people buy it, so
I know.
I'm partial to a deep fried Reese's peanut butter cup. I think those
those
are
are good.
Yeah,
light
that's
Those are
well. See, that
actually
that at least
amazing.
makes sense to me because like the peanut butter, the chocolate, the crispy
Oh,
outside.
but like I'm trying to remember the things at the state fair. I love the state fair. The first year I went 8 times. Now I go maybe once a year because my arteries just can't do it anymore. Um, Deep fried Alfredo ball, deep fried red velvet cupcake, deep fried pho became very popular a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
They like it's like a
Okay.
pho burrito that they deep fry, but then you have pho on the side to dip it in. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
there was something. Oh, they like lots of different like weird versions of like dumplings and things that if I had to choose something other than cheeseburgers, dumplings, I could eat those every day, all day.
Okay. Now you got my mind going because if people aren't familiar with a lot of Southeast Asian dishes, like I think of pho and I think of like heavily curry spice. I think of a lot of very specific regional flavors, which I think could pair beautifully in a stained oil. So actually, you could probably get a really delicious. Okay, now you make me hungry. Fuck. Okay. Mm, okay.
They used to have these cinnamon rolls, which were not deep fried, which would have been delicious, but they were like I can only describe them as what we call monkey bread over here. It was just gooey, sticky bread with no icing and kind of crispy on the top, like kind of a pull apart cinnamon.
That cake that I made, James, that I was telling you about, that's pretty much a monkey bread because it was so dense. And
they don't have them anymore. But I would get one when I arrived, and then I would get one when I left, and no one was allowed to touch it. Like I would go feral if it's, can I have a bite? No, you may not.
See, now, Gennifer, you may not be a gainer, honey, but you're going to fit right on in this community. I'm just letting you know you are talking our language.
I'm not going to be mad if someone wants to buy me food. I will never be mad about that.
Now, you know what? Let me ask you that as a question, because not too terribly long ago, we had Big Shirley on the pod. And I saw a very interesting piece of discourse happening because they're not necessarily a member of the community. And there were people who were sort of voicing that sense of, well, if they're not a community member, how dare they like take the money from the people? But like they're offering. And he's just a fat bitch who's like taking the offer to spend a little muncie on a little bit of cake. If Gennifer, my baby, if somebody said to you, baby, can I send you $50 to go and buy yourself a sheet cake and eat it for me? Would you do it?
Probably. I don't think I could eat the whole thing, but like I would, I would. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. The answer is yes.
Let's reframe. If this was a Taco Bell or Jack in the Box, $50, would you demolish?
Taco Bell, yes. Jack in the Box, I only do on days I hate myself.
That's very fair.
Interesting. Okay. Well, once again, we're going to have Gennifer's details in the bio. So if you would like to see this quite literal heifer as she's dressed demolish food, give her a little donation, send her a little tip, send her a little something, won't you?
But I will not eat it in drag.
No, that's fair.
I have a very strict rule. I do not eat in drag unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, because you got to clean that shit, and most of the stuff you're going to wear is not like machine wash friendly. It's going to be like hand soaked, line dry, fucking splotch with the fucking, with the microfiber, all that kind of fuckery. Absolutely not. That's too much.
I do think though that someone needs to put out like experienced drag queens. Like I've been doing this 4 or 5 years now, so I'm like semi-experienced compared to a lot of other people. Like on how to like actually do a day of drag. Because when I first started, I would not eat all day, like literally starve myself all day. I'm like, which is not good because you forget that when you're in drag, you're essentially working out, not in the traditional way. So I wouldn't eat all day. And then I would almost pass out at the end of the day, which is not good. And then I would go to McDonald's and gorge myself, which is also not great. Like, so I've gotten a lot better with that, but like, I definitely, if there's a tip to newer queens, like you have to find a way to sustain yourself throughout the day in a healthy way that's not just vodka sodas. I mean, it's fun to do that, but it's not good.
No, I get it. I've been working a clown party every couple of months just on the door and trying to keep people company. And I find that like between the looks and everything else, like the easiest thing to do for me is, weird as it sounds, like it's either a bag of apples or it's just a couple of protein bars where it's like, I can manage this level of mess. This is a very consumable, disposable unit of consumption that is not going to largely fuck up the situation that I've got going on. So,
James, I'm so proud of you getting your protein in. It seems that my influence has truly passed on to you.
Captain Bar, you shut the fuck up right now because I will never touch cottage cheese. I will never stick my dick in a bowl of cottage cheese. How very dare you, sir?
Very, very high of you.
This is an ongoing saga, Gennifer. I showed James one cottage cheese recipe, and he was revolted, and now forever reminds me that I'm apparently some sort of filthy, strange creature who enjoys the curds of milk.
No, I'm gonna side with James on this one.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
I think the idea of cottage cheese is disgusting, but making it sounds revolting. And
I didn't make it. It's just I would incorporate it. I would have it over some oatmeal with some fruit.
No,
that may not be your thing, but there's plenty of people. Sound off in the comments if you enjoy cottage cheese with fruit and or
if
oatmeal.
You like your curds and whey.
Yeah, you got to get the protein in some way.
Oh,
I'm not shaming you.
Little Captain Muffet.
The Captain Barra sat in his cara eating
his curds
cheese.
And whey.
Thank you all for kink shaming me.
You're welcome.
I think that's merch. That's a merch idea. I'm just saying.
That's
what,
another
Captain
thing.
Barra curdled cheese? Is that
no.
Yes.
I was thinking like a shirt, but okay.
Yes. That's what Jennifer's going to wear on her return sesh to the podcast. A Captain Barra themed bowl of cottage cheese shirt, trying to show up in
Oh
love
my
and support for
God.
you and your nonsense.
I would rhinestone it. That's how much I love you.
See, there we go.
Continue, dear.
The-
Speaking of your fierce looks, by the way, when are you going to do the matchmaker from Mulan? Because your little goatee outlines the what is it? Dignity and refinement.
Yes, you do need to
perfectly.
demonstrate a sense of dignity and refinement, and also for the tea.
So, 3 things here. I love that you mentioned Mulan because I watched it last night. That movie's messed up. No one talks about it. Mulan murdered potentially thousands of people, and everyone's like, "Yeah, she saved China." I'm like,
She's the only princess with a body count. Why does everybody forget that?
It's crazy. Second of all, I'm white, so I will never be doing the matchmaker.
Well, fair.
And,
Well, actually, on reflection, fair enough.
never gonna do that.
Reflections.
But
Is that...
who is that cow I see? Gennifer. And third, when I started experimenting with bearded drag, it was during COVID a little bit. And did I utilize that time well at all? No, I did it like twice and was like, oh, I look ugly, and I stopped, which is, never the way to do it. But I did a blue and yellow, because that's after not doing makeup for years, doing blue and yellow eye makeup, I would not recommend. That's what you start with. And then I darkened my beard, and then I ended up looking like the matchmaker. That's the long story short. I never took a photo. I stared at the mirror for a long time, questioning my existence. And then I wouldn't even show my roommate. And then I wiped it all off. And then this is the first time I've talked about it since.
We're proud of your candor and your vulnerability. What is it? Shantae, you stay.
Exactly.
When I was
Holding up a picture.
experimenting,
What would you say to little baby Gennifer? Like, don't do the yellow and blue makeup, cow. Fuck.
Oh, and I looked like her after she got the tea poured on her. Like, it wasn't even like.
I get it, but like when I was experimenting with special effects makeup, I bought this Skin Illustrator palette that had it was all skin tones. And I wanted to so I was doing swipes of them on my hand to see okay, which one can I get as close to my own skin tone yet? And so, but the more I was swiping them, I was like, damn, these are extremely convincing. And so I kept I applied a little bit more of the darkest shade, and I took a look at my hand and I was like, oh shit, I can see how this would end up being a problem for some people. And I was because this is damn convincing. So
Everyone should go to their local theater store and have them color match you, not the people at Sephora, not that saying they're bad, because you'll find out your tool shade. But yeah, that you need to.
yeah.
Now, I would like to ask you a question because in the research for this episode, I came across something that I thought was interesting. There was a meme that emerged from a classic episode. I think it was called Doll Hoarder, where they mention a Gennifer with a G. Now, your response, they're not referring to you, are they? But you're tied to this somehow?
So they don't know they're referring to me because that's Trixie and Katya show saved me during COVID. As we all had our vices and various different things, I watched that show a lot. And there was a day where I just couldn't stop laughing, just about Gennifer with a G. And so that's where I did get my name, but they don't know because it's. Am I allowed to say sexual things on this podcast, right?
Yes,
yeah,
please do.
Ooh, the story is Katya had her sex torso doll, Gennifer with a G, that her mom had to move into her one of apartment, and then she brought that sex torso, Katya, to Courtney Act's house, made love to it, and then shoved it down the trash chute. And then she doesn't know it yet, but that's where I was born, Gennifer with a G, into life.
I love
you
that.
are that you're that sex doll manifested into.
Because Trey didn't like the session.
Yeah,
but what they don't know is that you had come to live and now you're a fierce glamazon ready for the runway because you crystallized.
Yeah, so I then just had to find a job other than cross-dressing, in my words. So then when I'm not doing this, I'm Moira Rose's second assistant because she is Gennifer and then Gennifer with a G.
I
Would have
see.
thought this whole time that you were actually Katya's dumpster baby. That explains everything, honestly.
Honestly,
I found my sister from another mister.
Nothing would give me more pleasure. I've met Trixie and Katya, but before I was Gennifer with a G, I would just love for them to acknowledge that in some way, and I'd quit drag. If it's a cool analogy with quit drag, perfect. That's fine. No, but that's where my name comes. But you were literally, James, if I had a gold star, if I had a trophy, you were the first person to figure that out.
That is why
He is nothing if not investigative.
Baby, I'm the Nancy Drew of the gainer community. You better fucking believe I'm going to find the truth in a pair of ugly flats. You better fucking believe it. Although, as an Australian, they're not flats, they are thongs.
Is that what you call them?
Yeah, just me, like, walking around down.
Well, what do you call flats? Are you talking about, like what we call sandals that have, like...
Yes,
like flip-flops.
He means flip-flops. In Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, the dress that's all sandals, it's actually called...
They're actually called thongs.
What do you call a flat, though, that doesn't have, like a flat
Like
shoe?
an actual flat shoe that a woman will wear?
Yes.
Just flats. We'd call that a flat.
Oh, okay.
That's a flat. But I'd walk around wearing thongs.
Fair. Okay.
Just chasing along behind you around
as a chancla.
Yes. In a 2024 interview with Dallas Voice, you said that your drag philosophy is to be a kindness queen. And I'd like to know, how does that philosophy cross over into your everyday life, girl?
It's very pageant-y, and I'm sure my friends would laugh when they're going to listen to this and be like, she's rotted, stop it. But when I was first discovering myself as a queer individual, and when I came to Dallas, like, what brought me the most joy was drag. And drag, like, just queens that I didn't know at the time, just being like, how you doing, baby? Or, like, having a conversation with them while they're doing a number after. That brought me the most joy. And we all love, like, the bitchy drag queen, but, like, it is exhausting. Also, being bitchy is not a personality. I'm going to say that right now. Like, that's not... So, I just get to be myself and be kind and, like, give people the escapism that drag brought me when I was not in drag. Like, that's my goal. So, like, why wouldn't you just be kind? The world's crazy. Like, we don't need, and I call myself a crossdresser. I know other people don't like that word. I call myself a crossdresser. You don't need a bitchy drag queen. Like, I just don't. I don't like that. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun, but not me.
Well, and your public persona is, someone, it's based on, camp absurdity, but it's also got some genuine activism in there. So how do you navigate being both hilarious and still deeply community oriented?
Well, I definitely have to be reminded 3 or 4 times, depending on what event I'm at, because fuck is my favorite word. And and I like talking about wieners and things like that. So I just, then that aspect I got to be aware. But, like, it's not much different. Like, the activism I do is for this community. You know what I mean? So, like, they're so intertwined that, like, I can kind of just be myself in all of it, and I can be genuine. Like, that's just, like, I'm not doing this because it's making me lots of money, because it's not. Like, I'm doing this because this brings me joy, and if I can provide an hour or 2 for someone to forget how terrible and crazy the world is right now, then, like, I'm good.
No, it's true, and not to quote Drag Race ad nauseum, but your authenticity really and vulnerability really do work in your favor, because you are genuinely a delightful human in or out of drag.
Oh, thank you. Say more.
Well, I mean, you've been a delight to have on the program thus far.
So, Gennifer, somewhat recently, perhaps less recently once this episode comes out, one Mr. Shia LaBeouf said that he was afraid of big gay people. If Shia LaBeouf were here right now, being afraid of your gay plus self, what would you say to him?
I don't know her.
Who?
I do. Is she still relevant? I don't mean that like.
Not really.
What?
I mean,
not really.
No, he did the Transformers movies, had something of a mental breakdown. I know that he appeared in a movie about some Catholic saint, and now he's a devout Catholic.
I also would like to know his definition of a big gay person, because, like, is he short? Like,
that's what I wanted to know too, because
he is short.
Well, how short is he? He's like 5'10", isn't he?
I mean, I don't know. Let's look it up.
Yeah, let's do some research.
He's 5'9", which is not that short.
So actually,
it's like our height-ish. Thereabouts.
Yeah. So I wanted to know too what he meant by that. I was like, does he mean fat gay people, or does he mean people who are gay in a big way? Like, I'm gay,
I'm genuinely interested when people get like that, though. Like, I want to please explain your thought process to me because I know it's not making sense in my world. But then as soon as I start trying to make sense of them, my brain starts hurting. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
mental
there's
acrobatics necessary to understand where they come from with a comment like that, where you're just like, you know what? It's not worth the
And
trouble.
also, that was some of the best advice I was given on the nature of people who don't make sense. Someone has an issue with you. It could be anything. And you're trying to figure out, well, why do they have a problem with me? I don't understand. And the truest answer is the fact that you don't understand is a good sign because you are a reasonable, level-headed person who is thinking logically. Of course, you won't understand why they're thinking what they're thinking because they're thinking illogically. They're the person with the problem. They're the one who's fucked. You're actually totally fine. Take that as the blessing. Let them be crazy in a corner.
in other words, there is no reasoning with
Yeah.
unreasonable people. That said, Jennifer, have you encountered any haters along your journey?
Yeah, I have.
Do tell.
Naturally, it's always like hearsay. Like you're always hearing it from other people because
Mm.
we as gay people, we get to choose our family, but we also don't tell each other anything straight. So like, also the drag world is just inherently like catty and bitchy. Like people get jealous about experiences. Like I've had thoughts about queens or but winning that best drag queen title, which again, when I hear that, I'm so thankful that I've been recognized for the work I'm doing in the community and what I'm bringing as a queen to this, the stage and whatever. But like people had some things to say about that, and I'm like, I don't disagree with you though.
Well, and the thing people forget is with such titles, it's of the year.
Yeah.
It's not that the best queen that there ever was or ever will be. You just happen to have a really good year where you did a lot of cool stuff, and that deserves a shout out.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I
thing
will,
about those titles is like they get passed on every year because there's supposed to be a new person every year.
which I won the best drag newcomer from the same award 2 years ago. So personally, I'm like, oh, that's progress. And
Yeah.
I'm a goal oriented person in my brain, which is not my therapist. I have disagree about that sometimes. But like to me, I'm like, I am very critical of myself, but I've seen now I have yes, it's a plaque that says this, but I'm like, oh, I've made progress. I have actually gotten better, and others have seen that. It's not me being worried about it all the time, um, which is cool. And again, also it's also a voting thing. So like, I didn't choose the award; someone gave it to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, it was in fact a popularity contest, and you are in fact that girl.
I did not say that. Capy said
Capy did say that, didn't he? Oh, such a devilish creature he is. Now, Jennifer, I would like to ask you a question. Sometimes on the pod, we do get to ask people this question. I think it's a very fun question. I would like to know what food gives you life and what food brings you peace?
Well, we already talked about little cheeseburgers. That's not a joke. I love
Hmm.
burgers. Those give me life, and I like finding like craft burgers. Am I allowed to reference
Craft
the?
like mac and cheese?
No, not
Or
mac and cheese.
okay. It's
Can
an
I
important
think
No, no, no. I know
distinction.
what I know what she means like so there was a restaurant here in Cleveland called The Rail where they would do burgers, but they would like, like certain ones styled like, this one puts like a fried egg and the onion straws on it, and like
Oh,
this one uses like
would the
truffle
Dallas
butter.
equivalent to this be perhaps like Twisted Root Burger Co., Jennifer?
I was thinking rodeo goat.
Okay, that's a good one too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're ever in Dallas, go to Rodeo Goat. But like my favorite burger there
Mhm.
is like it's like arugula, grilled onions, and grilled peaches. Like
Ooh,
it's
Great combo.
okay.
so finding anything, but also I'm a sucker for like if there's an onion ring and barbecue sauce with cheese and bacon, it's over.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay.
And then the food that gives me life, pizza Pringles.
Pizza Pringles. Okay.
Those
A
yeah, those are
classic.
addictive. Those are addictive.
It's like
Okay.
if I'm having a night in, I'm stopping by the grocery store and I'm getting well, it's always like buy two for five. So I'm gonna get pizza and then like a different flavor. I love Pringles.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say this because you're a burger bitch. In Australia, we have the concept of what we call the burger with the lot. And typically that's when you go to any deli, they'll take like a little bit of everything they got. Pop it on top, there's your burger with a lot, right? So it'll be potentially a little different depending on where you go. But every Australian agrees there are three ingredients that your burger must have in order for it to constitute the lot. And if it does not have this, it is not the lot. They
Okay.
are as follows: a slice of beetroot, a fried egg, and a ring of pineapple.
I'd try it.
It's sweet,
I would
it's
try it.
savory, and it's delicious. It's fantastic.
Sounds very umami. It sounds like we got
Hmm.
the sweet and salty. The beetroot, I'm a little confused about, but I would try it.
It's absolutely worth it.
And
I
the
would also
beetroot is
say,
pickled, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a pickle.
Okay, that
Well,
helps.
it's not a pickle. It's a ring of beetroot that's been in the brine and therefore pickling a bit. But in any case, it's delicious. Strongly recommend. Fabulous. Do not eat it while you're in drag. That
Oh,
beetroot
no,
will
no,
fuck up
no.
your shit. It'd be terrible.
I think fried eggs should go on more food
Mm.
and burgers. The only problem with it when you put it on the burger, you're gonna bite it and then it's gonna explode somewhere, and you know that going into it because no one wants a hard egg on a burger. You want a runny baker,
No.
like a runny
Mm.
egg.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
then it's that 10% time where it shoots you in the face, which
Yeah.
I think people here would like that. But like,
Do you know what, like
Mm.
I really love is I they're opening up more ramen places around me, so I'm getting to eat it more often and I'm
yes,
happy about that. But like I am obsessed with the marinated egg that they put in the ramen, because it's got that jammy center
Yes.
and it's been marinating in the soy sauce, so it's like all salty and wonderful. So like I started doing that too. My roommate was like, "Are you marinating eggs in soy sauce?" I'm like, "Yes, I am. Leave it alone."
James, can I ask you a question? Am I allowed to ask
Of course.
questions?
Yes, please do. I'm very
Oh my.
interesting.
Well, we talked about Drag Race a little bit, but like as we talked, I'm a bearded queen, and there are other queens that are like way more bearded than I am. This is all I can grow. This is nothing else happens. But like Danny Beard won Drag Race and was the first bearded queen. Like, is that have you seen a resurgence of bearded queens abroad or I guess it's open to everybody, but like I know it's a new trend that's
Mm.
getting a little more acceptable in the drag scene than it used to be.
I would certainly say that, like, internationally, bearded drag is not necessarily that big a deal. Like, don't get me wrong. I certainly think that a traditional idea of femininity has always, probably will always be a central vision, expression, idea of what it means to do drag. But I mean, back in Oz, I saw plenty of bearded queens. I don't know that they were that uncommon. I would say, like, Aussie drag is very sharp and very harsh in a lot of its depictions.
Mhm.
Capy referenced Priscilla Queen of the Desert, and you see some of the shapings of the eyes and the face. It's very severe. I've seen a
Yeah,
lot of that in Aussie drag. In British drag, they're really not. And it's not shady to say necessarily focused on the look because the performance is what
right,
it is about. There was a big debate amongst locals when UK Drag Race was starting up. They were like, well, it can't be lip syncs because
right.
every queen sings. They're singers. They are cabaret performers. And then, seeing queens who are very well known for being vocalists being forced to kind of lip sync and being graded on a shablam scale is a difficult thing to kind of come to terms with when the season was first starting. But, I would certainly say external expressions of drag are far more common across Europe. Again, not like it's everywhere, the most popular, but I would certainly say it's not as rare. It's not as taboo even amongst iterations of Drag Race girls. Like, I can't remember the last full season I watched, but I think it was like season 16 or something, or season 17. I caught an episode and they're still going on about queens who do like not pretty drag. Like,
Not
ooh, what
hyper
is this?
fast.
I've noticed
You
in
know,
Cleveland that there's been a trend towards cabaret again, which is something that I hadn't seen in a long time. Like it was for the longest time, it was just the standard lip syncing with a little bit of crowd working, and then the dance floor is yours kind of situation. But now I'm noticing a trend in back to cabaret singing. There's a lot more gender diversity in the lineup and a lot I've been seeing bearded queens for a while now, like it's totally fine here in Cleveland, like, and I would say probably six of the well-known performers in Cleveland are bearded queens, so
Well, and if nothing else, this all speaks to the fact that perhaps we've been around long enough to observe that trends come and go in waves. Because lest we all forget, Conchita Wurst was the face of bearded drag during her
Yeah.
heyday. And I think she's come back up in some recent productions. I saw some footage on Instagram, but that was a very striking image for a lot of people, where she was high femme, high glam, and had a beard and looked kind of like Jesus met Kim Kardashian. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm also glad you brought up the cabaret thing because Captain and I, that's our background really. And I'd love to hear your experience, Captain, because I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I have started introducing singing into my shows significantly more, and the response has been amazing.
And
But
that's been a beautiful thing to witness too, because back when I was a fledgling queen in drag, people didn't really get it. It was very much if
Nobody
you're
sang
not
live.
kicking,
None of the queens did. Like they all it was all lip syncing, and
and so
it was about your dancing. I remember back then it was about your dancing and your look. Now it's more about your crowd work. It's way more about crowd work now.
Which also, I'd love to see more of that with Drag Race because I think one of the unsung talents of Queen has always been hosting. Like, how do you control a crowd of faggots who are 5 sheets to the wind? That is a fucking skill. And a skill that absolutely should be cultivated before you send these fuckers out on the road to try to go to different bars. Like, I'd love to see more opportunities for all the wide range of talents. And if drag is such a catch-all for everything, why can't we see more of absolutely everything being shown and represented and celebrated in drag?
no, fully. What folks would tell me was that, I was kind of like an older drag act that came a little too late. But now looking at, things that you're doing, Gennifer, maybe I was just before my time in some ways.
no, I think you're right though, because the amount of people I talk to now at my show, the Gennifer Show, and other places is people are like, we want cabaret bars back, we want piano bars back. And there are incredible drag entertainers, kings, queens, all the above, that are trying to do that, but like the spaces are kind of fighting that still. It's been cool with my show. Like I said, it's the Gennifer Show. It's the dumbest game show in Dallas, but like we do have lip syncing, we do have this, but like it's a game show. It is not. There is no other show like mine on the main strip of Dallas, which has made me super self-conscious at start. But I now see people are really interested in things that are not the typical drag show. Not that there's anything wrong with those shows. I think there's always gonna be a place for those. But like in queer entertainment, local entertainment, like bring back the cabarets, do a game show, bring out something different because
I was just gonna say, like, I'm sure I almost can like hear the opposition to all of this because like it's that clash that's happening in my local gay scene. It's like the old guard versus the new guard, the older generation of gays that wants to like keep everything segregated and everything very traditional. And let's not experiment, let's not get avant-garde and reinvent the wheel. Let's just make everything homogenous.
But let's talk about that for a second because some of the queens from later seasons of Drag Race, even the better performing queens, they are not getting the bookings. They are not able to sustain the opportunities. And yet, Coco Peru, Jackie Beat, Sherry Vine, they are touring. They are still working. The old bitches who never lost what it meant to actually be out here, to have their moment, to understand what they bring, and to consistently bring it. They have never once faded from relevancy within the scene. I think there is something to be said, the sustenance and potency of pure talent, and something that could be seen more of and uplifted. And Gennifer, I think that's what we've had with you here today on our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, baby.
Thank you. This has been an absolute pleasure. I love this. I will come back anytime you need me to.
Yay! Now, honey, we do have to ask, of course, what do you have coming up next?
Oh goodness. If you're in Dallas, the Gennifer Show, dumbest game show in Dallas, is every Friday except for the third Friday at the iconic lesbian bar Sue Ellen's. You can follow me on Instagram at Gennifer_WithaG or the Gennifer Show at the Gennifer Show. Those are gonna find out everything I'm doing. I don't know. That's it. Blah blah. I hate talking about myself.
Oh my goodness, y'all, this has been such a pleasure, but I believe that is a wrap for now here on Thicc Radio. Please remember to like and subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave us a good review. If you liked this episode, share it with your friends and encourage them to tune in. You can find me on Instagram and BlueSky at stannnum.
And you can find me on Instagram at thiccymouse and on Grommr at orpheus.
You can find me on Instagram and other fine social media platforms at the Captain Barra.
You can also find us on social media at Thicc Radio or visit our website at thiccradio.com.
Consider supporting the show by donating to our PayPal or by subscribing to our Patreon, where you can enjoy extra helpings, a behind-the-scenes conversation with this week's guest, where nothing is off the table.
And if you have any questions you'd like for us to answer, please be sure to email us at thethiccradio@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to answer them.
That's all for now. So until next time, bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Let's talk about it.
Thicc Radio is an independent production.
Artwork, media design, editing, and production by James Heinzen.
With original theme music by CYMK.
Okay, now we just need this heifer to...
Wait, so which document
Beer,
was
what
this,
the
James?
fuck?
Because I have 608B.